little bit about the award, what this award meant to you to receive this award from the National Association of Agricultural Educators.
Yeah, so the award is called the Teachers Turn the Key Award, and it's for teachers in their, I think it's in that 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 year range, and so it's made for those teachers that are, really trying to make an impact in the classroom, kind of have a good relationship with their students, kind of trying to balance that home and work-life kind of thing. And so being able to get that award for South Carolina really meant a lot. There's a ton of great teachers in South Carolina. I think our young teachers are some of the best out there. I was able to go to school with a good few of them, and I think we're some of the cream of the crop. And being able to be awarded that award amongst some of my peers, and kind of that's one of those things that's you're voted on it, you're nominated by one of your peers, and then voted on it, and then the application process kind of goes through a judging kind of period. But it meant a lot. It meant a lot. It's one of those things that kind of keeps you going in the profession, because there's good days and there's some hard days, but it's one of those things that kind of keeps you going and lets you know that you're doing good work.
Talk to me about your educational philosophy. What is it that when you come to work every day and you're working with these young people, what is your philosophy about agricultural education?
My philosophy as far as teaching goes, when I was a state officer for the Future Farmers of America back in a few years ago, I remember a quote, and it was, "People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care." And so I come in knowing that there's going to be students from all parts of South Carolina and some outside. They're all going to be going through their own different situations, and you kind of got to meet them where they're at, and being able to connect with them and show them that you're not there just to teach them about wildlife or forestry, but you're also there to care about their needs and kind of how their everyday life goes. And so being able to connect with them that way and show them that I care for them and I want them to succeed, I think it goes a long way when you do get into that instruction and you're wanting to teach them about things that you're passionate about. I think it does a really good as far as connecting with them and showing them that we're here for you, especially with residential students. There's a lot going on. Sometimes you're a mom and dad to those students, so being able to connect with them and have that impact goes a long way with instruction as well.
You're not afraid to innovate either. I mean, you're doing a lot of projects that require creativity and require some thinking outside the box.
For sure.
Talk to me a little bit about why you choose to go in that direction with your classes.
So I'm very against tests. One, I don't like making them. Two, I think there's a lot of students that are just bad test takers. Not a matter of they don't know the material, but they're just bad test takers. They get kind of anxiety. So I really like project-based instruction, and here we're able to do a lot of that. Whether it's when we do our prescribed burn unit in forestry, we do a lot of projects on just kind of leading up to us actually burning. We look into, all right, this is your scenario, and this is let's figure out all the ins and outs to what you need to do in order to make this thing go right. And then we also get out there and get to burn. This year we were able to put together our aquaculture system. And so that was one of those things. The kids came in day one, and there was a bunch of pipes laying around in our tanks. And so I kind of showed them the design that the gentleman kind of gave to us, and kind of gave them some ideas on how we would have to kind of adjust it a little bit. Kind of gave them some ideas on how we would have to adjust it as far as maybe a different layout kind of thing. But then it kind of just gave it to them and allowed them to be creative and figure out just where the pipes needed to go, how they needed to flow together. We had all the supplies there, so they kind of had a good idea of what needed to go into what kind of thing. But they put it all together. And then from there, it's just managing the system. We've had a few students that have taken over as far as kind of like that's their SAE, but our class still has a big hand in just kind of the day-to-day maintenance of it. And so some of those projects I think is really good because they're able to get a little creative. They're able to see actual, application-based, projects in hand. So I really enjoy the projects. I've got a ton in my head that needed to get done that I just haven't got done yet, so maybe they'll be in the future. But really enjoy doing things that kind of boost the school and kind of things that, as students come in year after year, there are different projects that they can either keep going, create new ones, adapt, and then kind of go from there. But we do have some tests in there as well, but I do enjoy the projects.
One of the key aspects of this award is that it is for young teachers that are just getting into the field and haven't been in the field that long. What would you say to a young person, either a student that maybe is one of your students now, or maybe somebody out there thinking, well, maybe I want to become an ag teacher one of these days? What would be your advice, and what would you say to them straight out of the chute?
I would say, first off, you've got to make sure you have a passion for it. Because as far as teaching goes, we don't do it for the money. Now, as you get up into your career, you can make some decent money and that kind of thing. But you've got to have passion for it, because there's gonna come days where you're tired, you're exhausted. You've got to make tests, you've got to make materials, and you're really not going to want to do it. But if you have a passion for that, for agriculture education, for the students, and for what you're doing, it goes a long way. Sometimes you got to motivate yourself and kind of look for those areas where, I'm going to do this because it's something that I enjoy and not something that I have to do. And so really having that internal passion. And I've talked to a few of my colleagues that, started teaching and now they're not. And a lot of them, I think that it was the passion for them. It's just as far as maybe they didn't come through an FFA background and don't have that internal just love for the organization or for like being around that kind of thing. And so if you really enjoy teaching and enjoy being around young people and impacting them on a day-to-day basis and being able to connect with them, because teaching ag is a hard job. You're going to be gone most weekends. You're training after school a long time. You've got a million things that you're worried about trying to get going. Luckily here we have 4, so we can kind of break up the work, and we got some really great coworkers. I have some really great coworkers that I work with that allow me to really focus on things that I really enjoy. But you've got to be passionate about what you're doing, and that takes you a long way.